Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM, and those tuning us online around the world, thanks to WYADonline.com and our good friends at iHeartRadio.com. We're glad you all could be with us as well. This whole hour, we've been talking about service, and we were really excited to welcome Mr. Joseph Thomas Sr. as well as Elizabeth Thomas on our program to talk to us about their vision for this radio station and how it's kind of being a voice for the community. Someone else who's very involved in the community we're speaking with next. We're excited to welcome Greg Riley to our program. We're going to talk to Greg not only about the work he's been able to do with Gateway Community Development Corporation, but also their YouthBuild program, how it's been able to benefit young people, especially between the ages of 16 and 24, and what you all can be able to know to be able to not only to know how you can be able to get your GED and diploma, but also make a difference in your own lives as well. Mr. Riley, hello to you and welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
Well, excited to speak with you. So we're going to get into the YouthBuild program, but I want to first begin by kind of talking a little bit about your own self. I was saying to you before we went on the air here, it's your first time on our program. I mean, have you always known that you wanted to be involved in the community to be able to help others?
Yes. I'm from the inner city, and, growing up, without the community helping me along the way, I would not be where I'm at today. And I look back on that, and I decided a long time ago that's what I want to do. I want to go back and help young men and young women in the community as I was and give them that guiding hand and guiding light to show them that it's more than where they at, than where they can be. So from a long time ago, this is what I want to do. And I've been doing this over 30 years, serving the community.
Wow. And, I think that's one of the big things, knowing that we are our brother's keeper and to be able to do our part to be able to help others. How does it feel to know the difference you've been able to make? Because, really, all it takes is that one person to believe in you to be able to make a difference. How has it been for you to be that person for so many people over the years?
Well, it's rewarding beyond measure, knowing that you can help somebody. But more importantly, knowing that you're helping people, and then they come back years later and say, thank you. Thank you for helping me when I was young. Thank you for helping me when I didn't know that I needed help. And more importantly, it sort of like helps me, to continue on, because some days doing this work you get very tired, you get very frustrated. Yeah. But when you're down, something will come through or somebody will come through and say thank you, whether it's somebody in the present or somebody in the past. Or you see that person that you say in the present I can help in the future. And that gives you the strength to carry on.
Yeah. So, you talked about the work you've been doing now for over 30 years. Have you always known, I asked you earlier about, being of service, but did you know that you could make a difference? And I asked you that question, Mr. Riley, because a lot of times, as you said, people look at where they're from and they think, well, I'm from here. What can I do? What made you know that you could make a difference just where you were?
Well, starting out, I didn't know, just to be honest. You don't know. Mm-hmm. But it's just the fact that you say, hey, I want to give back. I want to do more. I want to do something for my community because they did for me. And that's how it gets started. Then it goes from there to the point where you're saying, this is all I want to do. It's sort of like I tell my kids, you get bit by the bug. And, and people have different bugs that they get bit by. It's a corporate bug, it's the sports bug, and it's the bug of service.
Right.
And I think I got bit by the bug of service because, again, for over 30 years from being in the military, being in the AmeriCorps, doing community service projects, have always worked at nonprofit organizations throughout my community of giving back. And it has benefited me well from the standpoint of being able to look back and see some of the lives of some of the people that I have worked with and where they at now. So it's rewarding from the standpoint of knowing that you help people, but it's also rewarding to know that your children can look at you and say, that's my dad. My dad know a lot of people. And it's not so much just saying that I know a lot of the LeBron James and Obamas, but I know a lot of the of the Mr. and Mrs. next door that knows me. And that's more important to me, that my children know that the Mr. and Mrs. next door know me and respect me, and I know them and respect them.
I think that's the big thing, and that's something that all of us can be able to learn from. So I mentioned, of course, your work with Gateway Community Development Corporation. A lot of people know it as Gateway CDC. How did your involvement with them begin?
Well, I had a friend that was writing a grant for Gateway CDC, and she knew what I was doing, and she asked me, said, would you like to be a part of this? And I said, yes, without knowing too much details other than that they was writing a grant to the Department of Labor for a YouthBuild program in Yazoo City, trying to work with 16 to 24-year-old young people, that young men and women that do not have their GED or do not have a focus on what they want to do and go in their life. And I said, yes. I said, that's what I've been doing all my life. For the last 30 years, that's what I've been doing. I would love to continue to do that, and I would love to go to Yazoo City and spread the message.
Yeah. And that is the thing, again, that people can appreciate. You're wanting to be able to help by being able to spread the message. I want to say, for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. Mr. Greg Riley is joining us for this segment. We're talking to him not only about the service he's been able to do, not only, of course, in Mississippi, but also the impact he's been able to have and the example he's been able to be, not only, of course, for his own family, but also for others. We also are talking about his work with Gateway CDC. So that leads us to YouthBuild. And when I was prepping for this segment, I went on the website, which is gatewaycdc.net. So we definitely want to encourage our audience to go there. Again, gatewaycdc.net is where you guys can go. And I was looking at the information about the YouthBuild program. Talk to our audience, though, Mr. Riley, for those who are just now finding out about it, about the work that the YouthBuild project does.
Yes, Gateway CDC have a YouthBuild program with 3-year grant from the Department of Labor. We're in our second year. We work with 16 to 24-year-old young men and women. Again, if they have their GED, if they do not have their GED, we help them obtain their GED. We work with Holmes Community College and Yazoo City High School. And then we also help them to get a job skill and job training and a trade. And we do workforce development, and we work with Holmes Community College to help us with that. So we also have different partners throughout the community. So we're not just doing this by ourselves. This is a community project, and we're bringing the whole community together to benefit the young men and women of Yazoo County. From the state to the county to the city, we all as one, and we're bringing all the resources together so all of our young people can take advantage of these resources and become productive citizens.
So I want to talk about, you said you're in the second year, and so what is it like for you to know that you've been able to help these people? Because, again, I love the age group there. We're talking 16 to 24. A lot of times people think, well, it's too late, and they maybe look at themselves and wondering, if they missed out. What has it been like for you through this YouthBuild program then to be able to offer them another opportunity?
It's been great because, like you said, a lot of times that 19 to 20 and 21, 22-year-old young person feel like, okay, I have no recourse. I have no assistance, no support. Or my family don't really know too much of resources and support out there. So we're trying to be that support system and that resource liaison for them to let them know that you're not alone, that people still care and still people want to help you. And we're trying to make sure they get in contact with all of the resources they need. If you're trying to get your GED, we want to help you with Holmes Community College and Yazoo City High School. If you want to get a trade, and our trade is construction, and so we have a lot of young women say, well, I don't want to do construction, and we're trying to tell them don't limit yourself, don't put yourself in a box. And right now in the world, there's more young women are doing things that men are doing and doing it better and doing it greater. You got young women that's foremen and supervisors and construction managers on sites and big projects. You got young women and women that own construction companies. So don't put yourself in a box and say just because that's construction, I don't want to do it. And I try to tell them, even from the standpoint of just make it real small and bring it real back close to home. Let's say you have a home and you say I need to get somebody to come in and do some repairs to my house. And if they know that you know what they know, they can't feel like they can get over on you and charge you a high price for something that's real small. And then again, you might be able to fix that yourself and say, hey, I don't need nobody to come in and paint my walls or hang some curtains or put down some flooring for me. I can do it myself. I have the skills to do that.
Yeah.
So it's rewarding to know that you are helping people that can help themselves along the way.
I'll tell you, it's a great thing. And I think, too, to know that something like this is available. So I have to ask you, though, about the process, because, of course, even though you all are doing great work, all of us, and even it's on the website, all of us are dealing with the effects of the coronavirus. In fact, there's an announcement that was actually just posted on the website for Gateway saying, of course, that, because of everything that's going on, you all are, being close to the public. So how are you all navigating that in the work that you're doing right now, Mr. Riley, and dealing with the pandemic, but also feeling this need?
Well, we're working with Department of Labor. We're following their guidelines, and Department of Labor is working with CDC and making sure that they put in guidelines throughout YouthBuild program throughout the country. So a lot of things we're doing now is virtual. We have purchased Chromebooks for our young people, for the ones that's in GED. They do it virtual online. Our construction education is virtual online. Right now, we're sort of limited with hands-on experience because, again, CDC and Department of Labor is trying to figure out them guidelines. How do we get young people to come in and do hands-on at a safe distance?
Right.
When you're doing construction work, it's sort of hard to social distance at times. If you're working with a group or with a team, but if you're working individually, it's easy to do social distancing. So right now, everything we're doing with our young people is virtual. We have purchased them the equipment that they need at this time to go virtual with Chromebooks and then internet access at this time with our young people.
Well, I tell you, I'm sure people will appreciate that, and especially parents will appreciate that as well, knowing that you all are doing your best to make sure that the young people are staying safe and keeping all of us safe while you're still able to provide this service and this opportunity for these young people. So again, everyone, we've been speaking with Mr. Greg Riley today. We've been talking with him not only about his work in the community, but also his work with the Gateway Development Community Development Corporation, or Gateway CDC, what it's been like for him to see the work that they're doing, and especially with their YouthBuild program, to be able to see how they're being able to make a difference in the lives of young people, especially those between the ages of 16 and 24. I mentioned earlier about the website, and that is, of course, one place people can go for more information. How can they stay connected with you, Mr. Riley?
Well, we're located at 941 Avenue, Calhoun Avenue, in Yazoo City, Mississippi 39194, or you can give us a call at our office. Our office number is 662-746-5650. And then, like I said, you can go to our website. And then we also have a YouthBuild website. It's called YouthBuild Yazoo County at youthbuild.yazoo County. You can go there as well. And what we're doing now is, because everything is virtual, we are posting more information about our program, about our services, and then we're also trying to take, more pictures of our participants, in the virtual world, so people can get an understanding that, this could become sort of the new norm for a short period of time, a long period of time, depending on how this virus goes.
Right. Well, I tell you, I think that's the thing. I mean, and to know, of course, they can have a place to stay updated. Again, everyone, gatewaycdc.net is that website. You heard Mr. Riley say the phone number there, so make sure you guys definitely write that down, 662-746-5650. Again, that's 662-746-5650 is where you guys can be able to call. And again, make sure you guys are staying connected. Mr. Riley, thank you so much again for the time. I really appreciate it, and looking forward to having you back on the program again, sir.
Thank you very much.
Hey, glad to do it. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live today. Let's make it a great one.